I always wondered this, why do they call it Powa? Why Cellpowa 600? But that's the unit we're reviewing today. Very nice, very simple. Do I know how to hold a box? Oh, it's even got all the specs right here on it. It is a CP600 537 watt-hour lithium iron phosphate battery rated to 3,500 cycles. AC input is 300 watts through a wall charger. And solar panels, we can do up to 120 watts max from 12 to 30 volts and 5 amps. That's pretty low. Car charger, we can do up to 5 amps at either 12 volts or 24 volts. And you can even charge through the USB-C input. It's a 600 watt pure sine wave output, which is 120 volts and 5 amps. Got all the USB, DC 5521 plugs. Got the cigarette lighter port rated to 120 watts. There's an LED light rated to 10 watts. It weighs 17 pounds and it is 11.5 inches by 8.5 inches by 8 inches. That's pretty impressive. All the details right there. In here, we've got a cigarette lighter port to DC 5521. That looks like a charging cable for your car. And then we have a DC 5521 to MC4 solar charging cable. And then a C13 wall charging cable. That's awesome. Usually these little units have big adapter bricks, just like this. And these are not only slow charging, they're annoying to use. And then we get a fancy carry case for all the cables here. Well guys, this review is going to be very to the point. I want to get you this information as fast as possible so you can see if this is something that will work for you. We're going to do a review of this BigBlue Cellpowa 600 or CP600 unit. So to turn on, you press and hold the power button here. And the screen will dim, as you saw. And so you push the power button to just click it, and that will brighten the screen. I'm not personally a huge fan of little handles like this that telescope. It's just been my experience that I prefer them to be locked in. But with that being said, I know they're trying to go for a smaller box size. And if they were to have to cut out the top of this more, so that way your hand could fit comfortably, then the box would have to be bigger. So it is nice that they have that. So just be aware of that. It does extend up so your hand fits under there comfortably and compacts down nice and neat. I've got the wall charger in right now, and we are inputting 306 watts from the wall. So this will charge in 2 hours from 0 to full off of a wall charger. As far as the outlets go, we've got 2 AC plugs sharing 1 grounding hole. Now this isn't a groundable unit. There is no grounding screw. And so basically that hole is just there so that way you can fit in a 3-prong plug. The fan is very quiet. The light on the back, you have to click and hold it. And then you can click through the different options. And then turn it off, click and hold, just like that. Now I've tested one of these units before, and you can charge at the same time with this 100 watt USB-C input right here. So we could be charging this faster, but what I really want to do is, first of all, I just wanted to check that the AC input is this fast, and then I want to go ahead and connect a solar panel to it and see if we can get that 120 watt max solar input. So what I'm going to do is connect a 200 watt solar panel. It is within the range of 12 to 30 volts, but it makes about 11 amps. And on charge controllers, when you have more amps than what it's rated to, it will simply throttle it down to the rated amperage, but you never want to exceed the voltage. And so when you're connecting panels, use the VOC rating on the sticker on the back of the panel when connecting to a solar generator. So let's go see how it does with solar. When you do a solar test, you want to make sure that you're not above 80%. The reason being is when your battery starts to get full, there's just less room for more energy to fit into it. And so this is going to be a perfect test since we're at 42%. I'm going to go ahead and plug this in right here. It says solar 12 to 30 volts. I'm not personally a huge fan of solar input that's 12 to 30 volts. It's adequate for this size system because theoretically with a 537 watt hour battery and a 120 watt solar input, you could theoretically recharge this in less than 5 hours, but you can't do that while still running equipment. I'm going to check that here in a second if we can run AC load while doing a DC input. But the point being, I don't like that 30 volt max because your 12 volt solar panels will actually make about 20 to 21 volts VOC. That's voltage before connecting. They're creating voltage, just not amperage. And then once you connect it, that voltage is going to drop usually by about 10 to 15%. So it's going to drop from about 21 to 20 volts down to about 18 to 17 volts. It just kind of depends on the conditions and the solar panel and so on. So I can't connect two 12-volt solar panels in series and still be below 30 volts, because doing that, I'd actually be about 40 volts VOC or about 36 volts VMP, which is volts maximum power, instead of volts open circuit. So I can only get 120 watts into this. That's what we're going to see right now with this 200 watt panel. Now this is a 10-foot cable. It is definitely lengthy. I like that. I'll go ahead and plug in. Now we're not getting 120 watts in, but we are getting 93. That's pretty decent. It's 78% of the rated input. That's fairly typical to get around 80 to 85%. That's a little low on the solar input side, which is unfortunate to see, but those are the real results. It's a perfectly clear sunny day. You can see there are no clouds in the sky at all. It is a very, very good day for solar input. So the good news is at this state of charge and with this much solar input, we are going to get fully recharged in less than 4 hours. But now I need to see if we can do DC input while outputting AC power. Now I'm not going to turn this heat gun on very high. We're just trying to see if it will turn on at all. We have DC power going in. I'm going to turn on AC power. It beeps. You need to click and hold it. Oh, it's wanting to. Oh, that's set too high. I overloaded it. I had it on the highest setting. That's 1500 watts, so that's my fault there. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off. I need to turn it off completely, I think, because I'm still getting that error message. Turn it back on, get our solar input going. Oh, interesting. It's not going above 62 watts now after having that little hiccup. Now it seems like we're back up. Not sure why that happened. I just unplugged this and plugged it back in. I have this on the lowest setting now. We're just going to see if we can turn on AC power and run something. It says AC power at 60 hertz right here. Let's go ahead and turn this on just to see what happens. All right. We're not running heat. We're just running the fan right now, and that's all I'm trying to do. We are running an AC load while inputting DC power. I think the real question is, will it do AC power out with DC power in and AC power in? Let's plug this in, see what we get. It just clicked. Oh, we're going up. Look at that. Wow. And we've got 400 watts input right now. So we are getting DC and AC power in. The AC power out says it's still on. Let's turn this on. Yeah, this turns on. So we can do everything here. Awesome. You wouldn't believe how many systems do not allow you to have DC and AC power in, as well as AC power coming out. When I say AC, that just means alternating current, which is like your normal house outlet. And then DC is like a red and black cable like this from solar panels, or your cigarette lighter port, USB. That's all DC. So this is very cool that the CP600, the Cellpowa 600, can do all of that at the same time. So there you have it. It can do it all. I definitely like this unit. It's very portable. It's lightweight. There are other units of similar size that have a little bit more output and maybe a little bit more input. But for what you get for the price, this is definitely a good unit. Something that works well for maybe just charging laptops or cell phones or a drone. Maybe a DC fridge on a road trip. It could probably work for that, for like one of those DC chest freezers. But this is not something I would use for emergency preparedness in the sense of running like a refrigerator or a freezer or anything like that. You could definitely use it for a CPAP machine or maybe a fan or a lamp. But those bigger, more vital pieces of equipment that you'd want during an emergency, I would probably say you need something bigger. So that's what it is. Take it or leave it. I'll have links down below for any discounts or coupons or anything that they've got if you feel like this is the right option for you. Appreciate you watching. See you all in the next one.